Okay. So now that I have all the bones here and the weighting applied, I just want to fix basically these kind of vertices that follow way too much stuff. Or do I want to do that now? Yeah, I guess I do. So I'll select, first of all, set the armature to show the deform bones. Select the mesh, no, the armature and the mesh second. Go in white paint mode. Okay, so I guess the first one that are easy to set up are the nostrils, because I basically want to, what are the settings? I want the weight. So I'll set the weight to 1 instead of 0. And yeah, the influence to 1 as well. And so now I can paint those 100%. And I don't think I have the mirroring. Yeah, no. I'm not sure which one is the one I want. Yeah, I haven't done weight painting in Blender in a long time, so I'm pretty sure I'm assigning the weights to the wrong bone there. If I show the controls as well. Yeah. I need to figure that out. Why? This is weird. Well, I guess I'll uncheck the mirroring and just do it manually. That won't take me too much time. So I'll apply these vertices to that bone. These ones as well. And this will just be a first pass of the weighting. So if things aren't pretty or anything, it doesn't really matter. And now I'll assign these ones right here to this bone. I want that to be a nice red. This one shouldn't have any influence on this. Okay, so I'll just assign these ones as well on the right side. Try the X-Mirror instead of the Symmetry. So using this or this. Yeah, I did that. But when I paint on the right side, it also paints on the, or like on the her left side, it also paints on her right side. Maybe it's because of the name of my bones. Because this one basically, I have the side on the like, right here, and I might just need to have this side at the end of the name. Actually, I can, no. I can try to do that. I guess I'll try quickly and see if that changes anything. So I'll rename that bone to .L and remove the L right here, and I rename that one to .R and remove it from here. And so now if I paint, oh, that might work. Well, now I don't understand why it removed the... Is there an add instead? Why is it removing weights now? Alright, well, I guess I'll go back to just do it manually for now. That doesn't really matter. Turn off the X-Symmetry. Good call. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good call. So yeah, looks like the name of the bones were the wrong ones. So how do I want to change that? I want to go into my meta rig. Basically select all of this. And let's do a bit of scripting. I won't have the viewport visible for you guys, but that doesn't really matter. And I will show the console. Okay, so let's select all the bones for bone in API.context that's selected editable bones. Let's make sure I have the bones. I don't, because okay, so I have all my bones right here, and I basically want to change the name from something that has side dot whatever to whatever dot side. So I'm using the dot as a like separator. So split equal bone dot name dot split. Yeah. Using the dot character. Side equals and I want to new name equals and I want to print that. Okay, so I got the names to have all the sides at the end. I'll just actually apply that to the bone names. Equals new name. Okay, I didn't know Blender had a battery name tool, so yeah. I'm so used to doing like small scripts in Maya to do everything. So I think this is fine now. I'll just regenerate the rig. And again, I had the rig hidden, so I'll delete that one. Alt F2. I go into edit mode, select all this. I have a weird keyboard, I don't think. Yeah, doesn't seem to work on my end. Ctrl F2. Okay, nice. Cool. Okay, well, now I know that. Thank you. So, let's start over again with the weighting. I'll delete all the groups. And I need to regenerate the rig with having the original rig shown. Generate the rig. It'll take a while. And of course it forgot about all the shapes because I changed the names of the bones. So really simple fix for that. I'll go and hide the rig, I'll hide the geometry, and I'll show the widgets. I'll basically select. Okay, so I now have duplicates for everything. Cool. How do I clean that up? Might not want to clean that up. Yeah, I don't think I'll clean that up. So I'll select everything except these, which I don't want. And I'll make, again, all of the controls, actually, not these ones. All the bones that are actually sitting on the face. I'll have them share the same data block again. So yeah, I'll have them share the sphere control data block. And can I copy to selected? Apparently not. Did it really duplicate all that? I guess I'm back to scripting land again. So for object in PY context dot selected selected objects object data equals I think it's sphere but control shape. So I have all that and expected a mesh. Data dot meshes, I guess. Yep. All right. So maybe I can start walking now. So I'll hide the widgets and I'll show the rig, which now has all the bones with the proper shapes. I think we're good. Okay. So let's show the proxy mesh again. Remove the old armature modifier, parent it to the rig. And select them in that order. Actually, no, I want to show the deform bones and maybe these ones as well. Select these. Okay, so we should be good now. If I don't need that anymore. Let's go back to this view. Yeah, I have a lot of bones on there. But yeah, as I was saying in the last stream, I think it's becoming kind of standard in like in rigs, for at least for games, to have at least this many bones, and probably a lot more than that. I know, yeah, on Uncharted 4 they had at least 500 joints for Drake's face, and I'm about just using half of what they used. So I guess the only question is whether or not Blender is going to support that amount of meshes, or bones rather, but I guess we'll see. So to the wayne painting, I'll select this, and now if I paint it, it looks like it works. Cool. So let's do it like that, and if I select this one, yep, nice. Cool. Kind of want to have this vertex follow the middle, I think. This one should really not have any influence in here. Wonder why Blender doesn't show the weighting in the same way here. And I'll have the tool apply half of the weight. I guess, no, I wanted half of the strength, I think. Maybe. No. Select that one. Okay. So now it's a bit of a boring time. I'll just go over all the bones and see what moves properly and what doesn't. I guess I'll do that in pose mode instead. It's fine. Seems to be fine. I'm expecting to have issues on the lips mostly. Yeah. That's because all these vertices, like these ones, on the lips don't have an actual bone on the surface of the mesh. So yeah, Blender kind of interpolates the weighting on that, but I actually want to have the, if I show only the different bones and toggle the X-ray, you see I have those bones inside. Let's select this, go in pose mode. These bones inside are used to be able to rotate the lips, but I want them to, have 100% influence on the outer part of the lips. So I'll fix that in a second. I just still want to, so I know that this isn't right. Basically, I don't want the mouth bag to follow the outside. But I didn't include a jawbone right now, so I'll skip that for now. I don't think I'll add a jawbone today because I'll be working mostly on the brows, because brows are easier to explain. For the first actual stream where I'll be doing rigging. So same problem here. It's fine, this is fine. I guess all these bones will have the proper weighting. Yeah. Alright, I'll assume that everything is fine, even on the eyes. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just fix the mouth and then I'll get to transferring the skin over to the iris mesh. So let's show these bones again. Select this, have the bone X-ray showing up, and go into wet paint mode. And so are these deformed bones? I think they are. Yes. So I'll just paint these to 100% to each associated joint or bone. And I have the corner. That's a bit hard to read, so I'll fix that later. Okay, and in theory, the right side should be good. So let's go. Yeah, I think I'm good. Yep. Okay. Let's just fix the corners. Actually, I don't have that on the corners. I don't think. Because wait, do I? Oh, I do. Okay. So I want this one to influence 100% of, I think, that vertex. Okay, cool. So I have the face skinned right now, and I want to transfer the weights over to let's hide the body. Yeah, I want the skin of this mesh right here to be transferred over to the high-res mesh. So first of all, I'll bind the high-res mesh to the same skeleton with automatic weights as well. This will take more time. Okay, and then that's the moment where I don't remember how to do that in Blender. I guess I can use a Data Transfer Modifier. So I'll select that mesh. And I want the Proxy Mesh, Vertex Data, Vertex Group, all layers. Yes, I want all the layers. And is there a way to... I think I used the projected face interpolated, so I'll try that and see how that goes. Yep, cool. So what that did is basically just interpolate the weighting of all the bones to the mesh. So I have like a decent and smooth weighting on everything right here, and that lets me start actually posing the character, and I'll realize that some stuff leads to jagged edges down the line, but I won't care about that too much for now. Yeah, so no, I shouldn't have done that. The eyebrows, yeah, it's really useful to just be able to transfer the weights from a low res mesh to high res one. So I think, yeah, the eyebrows are using a surface deform, which isn't really great looking right now. Can I change that? I guess I can have the eyebrows actually use well, the same setup. So I'll have the edge split after the armature, I think, and use the Data Transfer Modifier again. Select the proxy, vertex data, projected, and apply. And that should, yeah, things look a bit better. It's not great, but it's going to be enough to start with. So I think it's time to actually get started with the expressions. And like I said, I'm going to realize that the weighting is actually crap and that I need to change a lot of stuff. The areas where I expect the most breaking problems are the eyelids, I think. Yeah, like this. I shouldn't get this kind of curve. And really these edges, right now they're bound to, I don't really like that yellow color. Hold on a second. I'm not sure on which bone group these bones are. I don't remember where you see that. I guess they're on the root. Okay. So I'll make a face layer, I think. I'll actually bound them to the center, which is not really better. I'll just make a temporary face layer, select everything, and I don't know. Let's make a custom theme and push the value. I just want something that's clearly visible to you guys. I guess red will be visible. And the selection, I'd like to have the selection white, so let's remove, no, zero saturation, full value, okay. And I'll copy the selection. Right, cool. So, yeah, so what I was saying that I'll need to work a lot more on the eyelids and the mouth. Because, yeah, right now it's transferred the weights onto the lower lips, and given this, I don't know what that bone is. That's the, yeah, that's the inside of the mouth bag. Shouldn't work like that. This is broken as well. But for like these kind of areas, that works really well. And yep. So anyway, I'll change my layout to show the dope sheet, I think, and I'll switch that to use the action editor. And some of you probably know that already, but I made an add-on called Action Man. That's yeah, an add-on to help you manage actions and action constraints in Blender. And that add-on adds a panel, or should add a panel on the right. I guess I need to have, yeah, okay. I need to have an action existing, and that adds this panel on the right. And I basically use that like actions to create all the shapes I want by moving the bones. So let's start by creating the brow. Brow inner down. Trying to think if I want to have that rig more fax based or not. Probably don't. Yeah, let's not do that. Cool. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is have at least 3 directions for the inner of the brows. So I'll change my, hold on a second. I want this to be snapped to the surface. let's go back to object mode, pose mode rather, and on the view, I'll change that to green. So I want to, and the transform channel split, you advised me the benefit of. Yeah, so I can explain that again. I'll explain that in a second. I'll just finish explaining how I want the brows to work. Right, so for the inner part of the brows, in real life, you can basically just move them two ways, which is like towards the inside, so in that direction, and that kind of lowers them a bit. In fact, this action is called the Inner.Brow.Lower, and you can move them upwards like this, and that's basically all you can do with the inside of your brows. That's not really suitable for a cartoony rig, and you would expect that you can like bring them down, but you can't really do that by just moving your brows. You need to like wrinkle your nose, and when you do that, I don't know if you can see, I can actually show my full face. All right, so when you wrinkle your nose like this, you're going to see that the middle part of your brows kind of goes down like this, and that's because the muscle that actually moves like all this flesh is actually connected to, I think, that point right here. So it pulls on the flesh, and you can add like all the other expressions that I showed just earlier. So that's the Brow.Inner.Lower, and you can add the Brow.Inner.Raiser, and then you can like mix all of that together, which is a bit hard to like isolate when you're trying to do like isolate each expression yourself. But yeah, let's go back to not being full screen and actually show Blender. So this is good for like realistic facial rigs, but it's a bit counterintuitive to like, if you want to lower the brows, to have to actually raise the like this part of the nose. An animator doesn't really want to have to do that. So what I'll do is I'll have, for the inside of the brows, I'll have one action that goes towards the inside, one that goes up, and one that goes down. And I think that's all I want to do for now. I may want to have one more bone right here to be able to define, I'll go back to full screen, to be able to like define that crease right here that I have. Some people don't have that crease and just have like a fold like straight in the middle. But I think most people have that crease like there. So I might want to add a bone right here that binds only these vertices, and that way I can pull them inside while pulling these ones like that bone outside, and this one as well. So yeah, I guess I'll see. And like I realized I wasn't showing the screen. So what I said is I wanted to have a bone right here to basically bind all these vertices and be able to push that bone backwards, like from inside of the mesh basically, and that way I can like pronounce that crease a lot more, or like push it more, while being able to bulge these two right there and then push these vertices back. And I guess I'll do it now because I don't think I'll be able to do more really, to define that how I want without having this. So let's go back to the meta rig. Hide the face. Why can't I select anything? Because I think I'm still in object mode. Yeah. Okay, so let's go into edit mode, and I'll basically just duplicate that one here, and I'll rename it to eyebrow in crease. What time is it? Okay. And so, okay, this one didn't get renamed. Crease. And let's regenerate the rig with this. Now I need to select that one. Wait a second, and now I have those two crease bones. Again, I'll have them share the same data block. So select this, use the sphere. Why do I have 200 of that? Well, I can use my script again. Okay, so let's hide that again. Go and show. Why is this hidden? Okay, I hid too many. Hide the meta rig. And okay, so those two bones don't influence anything. It's fine. I'm not sure how you add bones to the weighting in Blender. Can I like reparent it? And I'll save before I do that. What do I want to name this? Okay. So I'm wondering if I can just Ctrl P and empty groups and not lose the weighting I had. Yes. Cool. So I'll just again paint the weight for this, and I don't really need the X-ray. I'll select the crease, use the tools. I think this is fine, and basically just paint these. And that'll do for now. I might want to smooth. I think it's blur in Blender. Yeah, I'll blur this a bit on each side. And how does that look? Let's show these. Let's have that assigned to the face bone again. So if I move this now, it's way too pronounced, but I can basically start creating that fold. And I'll start using Eevee, I think, to see the end result. And without the wireframe. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we won't be able to see that quite as much as I thought. Yeah, alright, I'll do more tests and I'll start actually do the rigging. So, well, what was I saying? I think I created actually. Why do I still have this? Okay, so these are the actions I made during during my first attempt at the rig, and I didn't expect them to still be here. I'm wondering, do they do anything? I don't think they would. Okay, so what do I do? Yeah, I think I'll just reuse them when I found them. I don't really want to show the colors because that's annoying, and I'll just delete all the keyframes of whatever I have. So let's get to it. I want to select the Brow.Lower left, and I'm going to select all the bones, key them, go to the 10th frame. Actually, no, I'm missing some stuff. I'll delete all the frames. Didn't want to do that. Brow.Lower. So, if you start using my add-on and you create an action, you'll see this manage button that just tells the add-on that you want this action to be managed by the add-on, basically. The target here, I won't get into right now, just a bit later, but it's basically lets you attach the action to a specific controller. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, really. I'll cover the split transformation a bit later. So I want to create the action that I have the Brow.Inner.Lower. So what I'll do is select this, lower the brow, start like making a nice curve like this. I won't really be exposing the 3 curves principle to the animator for this one. I think, I don't know, because she has like kind of a weird brow shape. I'll just keyframe this and keyframe this like this. Yeah, the corner of her brow here isn't really in the center, so I don't have my topology lined up perfectly to deal with that. Yeah, that corner of the brow. So I think I'll, for that, stick to a more fax based thing where you can move the inside of your brows and the outside, but not the middle of the brows. But I'll just decompose how you move the inside and outside a bit more than what fax says. So I basically have this simple action right now. It just lowers these vertices or bones, and I have this clean action button that's very useful and removes all the keyframes that are useless, which, well, considering how many bones I have, is quite a lot. So yeah, I might move that, show the wireframe. See, yeah, the wireframe is a bit messed up because I did the weighting quickly. Yeah, when you lower your brows, basically what I want to do, actually, let's show the camera again. Where is OBS? Right here. So with the Brow.Lower, what I want to do isn't the actual Brow.Lower that fax specifies, which would be this one. I will basically want to do that, like mark that wrinkle right here. So how do I do that? I think I just need to start showing the screen again. And when the brow goes down, I think I just wanted to gain some volume right here. So I might just bring these vertices a tiny bit. I don't want this one, so just these 3. Tiny bit forward and a lot more down. down just to create that curve. Okay, so that starts to show some stuff, and I'll keyframe everything again, clean the action. All right, I'll copy. I have all the bones selected. I'll just copy everything, and I'm going to go to the mirror action, delete the existing keyframes, hit Ctrl-Shift-V, and that will flip the posing. I can keyframe that, undo this, and clean the action again, which I did not mean to do that. Okay, so I have now this action that goes down, and the other one. Oh, right. Let me just delete that and delete that. Delete all the constraints. I misclicked on the apply button, so it created a bunch of action constraints for nothing. Okay, I'll be cleaning that up a bit later. So I have these two actions, and I'll start binding them to a control. So how do I do that? I think I'll just manually create a control. Oh, first of all, right now, oops, that's freezing a bit. This isn't using linear animation. Go from the first pose to the second one. So I'll do that. Just set this to use linear interpolation, because I want the animator to control the timing of that and not assume this myself. So let's do this to this side as well. Cool. It's a bit tricky because I made all this with Rigify, so if I create controls myself, they'll get deleted by Rigify. So I think I might end up making a Rigify like kind of rig type that works with my workflow, but I won't do that today at all. So I'll just basically duplicate this with the x-axis mirror, that way. Okay, I'll rename the bones, use set Ctrl F2, and I'll rename .001 with .control. That's very temporary naming scheme. Probably don't really want to. Did that rename things? It did not. I can just do it manually. So I have these two. I'll color them differently. Did that really create? Okay. I accidentally created action constraint for all the bones by misclicking earlier. But anyway, yeah, I'll color those in a different way, just creating a bone group, control, and let's set them, I don't know, blue. I don't think you can see that clearly, so push the value and copy the selection and set that to white. And I'll change the shape to be a full sphere. Facial, control shape, and okay, so I'll use these two controls to control the brows. So what I want to do is in my action, I'll start with the left brow. So this one, I'll target the Samus armature, and then this control right here. And I want to have it go from, let's just use I'll show the axis of the bones. So this bone has its Z direction pointing down, so I'll use that. The location in local space, which is probably what you want to use all the time when you're using this add-on. And I want it to go from 0 to 1. I think it's 1 that I want, because it's pointing down and not pointing up. So from 0 to 1, I want it to control the downwards action. So I'll apply this, and now you'll see that these bones have an action constraint that's been created for us. And this action basically is linked to the control that I have here. This is not the one I want. So yeah, these action constraints are linked to the control, basically, just using the settings that I have here, but ported over to the action constraint. So I can start moving the brow by moving the control. I'll do the same for the right one. Samus. I want the left one, not the right one, and move that by 1 unit on the Z location. And apply. And so now I can move the brow down and move it down with the control here. And you'll see that this bone moves twice because it's included at the same percentage of influence on both sides. So I will want to fix that. So let's undo the motion here. Go to the last frame, and I have two ways of doing that. I think Blender has a nice in-between. In between tool, push pose from rest pose, relax pose to rest pose. Yes, that's pretty nice. So yeah, the in-between tool, the relax pose towards the rest pose means that Blender is going to take the current pose of the bone and relax and basically like interpolate between the rest pose and the current pose, and yeah, kind of find a value in between. I wish this was actually bound to a hotkey by default, because those two are the ones that I would use the most as a rigger. Maybe as an animator you'd use those three. Yeah, so let's do that. In betweens and relax to rest pose, and on top of the screen right here, basically, I don't know if you can see that, there's a percentage of relaxing, and I basically just want to go to 50%. So relax that by 50%. I'll copy the pose, hitting Ctrl V, actually keyframe that. Copy the pose, go there, paste it, keyframe it, and now I don't think I need to update everything. I'll just hide the axis because that's annoying. So yeah, now the middle of the brow follows halfway, and you can start yeah, having some decent posing for the brows. I'll quickly fix these jagged edges because that's looking awful. If I can select stuff, I'm in pose mode. I want this and white paint, and can I just blur it? Probably can I? Yeah, let's say that this is good enough for now. Might want to just blur this a tiny bit. And I'll reevaluate this weighting as I make the poses, because there's really no point in doing that right now. So okay, I might want to not move that. So I'm on this one, so I'll just move this one up a tiny bit to kind of conform a bit better with the curve right here. And I might want to push this one down just a tiny bit more. Ctrl C, keyframe everything, Ctrl C, clean the action, go back to the right one, Ctrl Shift V, and keyframe it, clean the action again. No. I hit the apply button instead of the clean action. So it's trying to apply this on every bone. I'll clean the action and delete the useless constraint. The shortcut for in between function is Shift E. Is it really? It's Shift E is the pose breakdowner. I don't know what that one does. Shift E. Yeah, so it instead of doing that just on the selection, I think it does it. Oh no, it does. Okay. Neat. Alright. Thank you. Yeah, so I deleted the useless constraint, which means that Blender will look for all the bones, I think. Yes. So Blender, or like the add-on, will look for all the bones and see if they have a constraint that they shouldn't have, and basically delete that constraint. So let's go back to this, go into full screen and move those two down. Okay, that doesn't look quite right, does it? I think I should have those two down and maybe this one a bit more. That doesn't look quite right, but I think it will make more sense as we show more expressions, like more brow stuff. So I'll just have these bones be pushed a tiny bit more. How does it look compared to? Yeah, I'll keyframe it like this, Ctrl C, go on the opposite side, and since I move the control and I have the action on at the same time, it duplicates it, or like moves it twice rather. I'll just do that, and now if I move both, I'm starting to see something. Yeah, this doesn't look great. but at the same time you probably want to activate it to, yeah, this crease right there, it's not good because it kind of overlaps itself, and that's not really how things work. So instead of having, let's hide this, nope, this, instead of having things that go inside like this and then go back, I should have something that basically goes inside a bit and then goes back like this. I think that's what I should have. I'll fix that a bit later. As you can see, this bone should have more weight as well. Like, it's too pointy. It should have a smoother curve. But anyway, let's show this again. I don't really care for the proxies, so I'll disable this. I don't care for the meta rig, and I don't care for whatever this is. That's my old face rig. Okay. So let's do the brow inner, which will be, let's show the axis again. The bone, that will be, I don't know if you can see that, but the x-axis of the controls are pointing towards the outer part. I'll use the negative x to drive this. So brow inner in, I already have these actions, I'll delete them. No, yes, brow inner in, yep. Target the Samus rig and use the same control. So do I still have that? Yes, I do. And I want to go -1 centimeter inside, like inwards rather. And yeah, basically we'll just end up selecting this bone, pushing it inwards, selecting this one, pushing it inwards, and have this one maybe just, instead of just going straight like that, maybe follow the curve of the brow a bit. And I might want to have those two like this as well. I'm doing things quickly, I'll like fine tune everything later. So I keyframe everything, go back to pose, do the rest pose, keyframe everything, go into linear interpolation, clean the action, which should remove the keyframes that I have on this, and apply. So now I should start to be able to move that control into 2 directions, which starts to give me the like the motion I kind of want. It's obviously not great right now, and I might actually it's hard to do it just on one side, but I think I'll end up pushing. Let's do that. So instead of just pushing the inside of the brow, I'll push everything inwards. And relax this one a bit. G, keyframe, clean action, go to the end, select that one. And I'll push these more. So instead of in between the pose breakdowner, instead of going under 100%, I'm going above right now, and I kind of want this one as well. So just to push the expression more, keyframe everything, clean the action, linear motion for everything. I'll hit apply again because I ended up moving this control as well. And now I'll copy the pose, go to the Oh, I need to have that checked off. For now, I'll delete the useless actions and apply it again. And do that to this. Keyframe everything. Nope. Go back to the action. I wish Blender didn't disable the active action when you delete all the keyframes. That's a bit annoying, but that's not too bad. So, right, I now have the movement on both sides. I'll target the Samus rig, X location of that bone. I want the -1. Uncheck this for now. And again, I applied it on all the bones because I didn't hit the clean action button first. So delete the useless constraint. And now we should start to get not what we want, because I didn't bound that to the right control. So I'll reapply the action. Are these rotated? Okay, so this one needs to be rotated 180 degrees so that their axes are the opposite, basically. Okay. Hide the axis again because that's annoying. And now I can start moving the brows like this, and same, not the same. Oh, yeah. Oh. I am not quite sure how to solve this, because basically the problem is that since I now have rotated that bone, oh, can I just, no. So yeah, those two bones, they basically have their x-axis flipped, but at the same time they have their z-axis flipped. So this one points downwards and this one points upwards. In Maya, what I would do is scale that bone. So instead of rotating it, like I did here, so this one has a roll of 0 degrees and this one has a roll of 180. I kind of want the 180 on both. Yeah, instead of, oh, I moved the camera there. Anyway, instead of rotating this bone, in Maya I would just scale it on X negatively, and instead of like flipping all the axes, it would just make the x-axis point that way. But you can't really do that in Blender. So yeah, I think I'll just hack my way through it and not have the bones actually mirrored. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. So so now the bones are not mirrored, and so the z-axis works fine, but now when I move the control outside, it moves it inwards. So instead of using a negative value here, I'll just basically flip that to a positive value and apply the action again. So Oh, it won't mirror because I name things using the control at the end, and I want that to be at the beginning. I need a dot here. Okay, now it mirrors the animation. I don't really like that because now that means that if I just go into a new action, actually let's jump into the graph editor. If I want to have the two brows do the same expression, so let's keyframe them here at 0 and here at this value. Kind of only care about the I don't want to see the colors. What is that? So, I don't really care about all this and all this, so I can focus on this. So my two control activate the same action, but their like keyframe values are inverted, and that's not good. Like, just confusing for the animator. I kind of want to have the same value here. Can't really do that though, because I can't scale the bone negatively, and that's, yeah, I don't like that. But anyway, let's make that action look a bit better by, well, first of all, removing these keyframes that I don't care. Let's go back to the dope sheet and the Brow.Inner.L. Let's remove that. So when it goes like this, I kind of want to, like I said earlier, have this bulge. Like this, kind of. I'll put the keyframe on the first key. Actually, no. I'll just copy the pose, go to the last one, and paste it. Wait, what have I done? I'll just push this a bit more. Not sure why it moves. Clean action. I don't know why when I keyframe it goes. Oh, because, okay. Because I cleaned the, like, all the useless animation channel, this one didn't have a keyframe on the, like, I don't know, this direction. So yeah, it messed up a bit. So I guess what I'll do, keyframe everything here. Actually, I don't need to do that now anymore. And I'll just make sure everything's linear, because that gave some weird results. And I will push that one back maybe have this one not that far like this. Undo all the movement, clean the action, set it to linear. I should automate that because I do it all the time. So basically the apply button should clean the action, I think. Cool. So go to the last frame, Ctrl C, go to the opposite, Ctrl Shift V, and keyframe, and clean action. I'm getting the same kind of movement now on both sides, and let's see how that looks. Right, so it's a bit hard to judge with the brows not being weighted actually properly, but I think we're on the right track vaguely. It's not going to look great for a while. What do I have selected? Okay, but we can start to have some like range of motion that is kind of interesting. This thing is, I can push things way too much. Well, way too much. No, you always want to like give the animators the ability to push things how they want. But yeah, you should try to support things as far as you can. And I think the range of motion right now is probably good because these two kind of meet, and you would never want that. So okay. I think I'll just do the Brow.Raiser now, which I should have already. Brow.Inner.Raiser. Delete the keyframes. Go back to it. Samus. It remembers the control. No, because it doesn't exist anymore. And I'm going to use local Z, the negative one here. I don't want to split the transformations. And I can start raising the brow. So what you want to do when you raise, or actually lower as well, is make sure you maintain the volume of the flesh, because I can't just like raise the brows like this vertically. I kind of need to follow that curve and have like the flesh build up here. But you want those first like bones to make sure they basically follow the shape of the skull that's underneath. So let's do that quickly. I'll push them like this, maybe rotate them a bit. Right. I have the x-axis mirror, that's why things move. I'll copy the keyframe. Actually, no, I'm good. And do the position and rotation, hit this, and now kind of want to push this. Yep. I don't think I'll have things be too fleshy for now, and I kind of want to be able to define like wrinkles in there. And again, I will need more joints for that. Or corrective blend shape on top of it, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, the like the skin should build up a bit. So I'll bulge that, push this. This is going to be very rough and probably it won't look good for now, as this is the first pass. Let's fix that curve. Could you fire a normal map instead? I could definitely do that. Yeah, no, I could do that. I just don't feel like doing like sculpting. Yeah, I'll think about that. I don't really know what I want to do. Process of creating normal maps is trickier because then, oops. Oh. If you create normal maps, you need to either have one normal map per like action you want to make, or design masks to kind of fire some part of the normal map at some time, and other parts at other time, and you can you end up with overlapping areas. That's definitely what I would do for like a game rig. I just don't think I have the motivation to do that on a personal project. I'll see. So this one is turning out better than the rest, I think, which at the same time is not really hard to do. I'll remove the deformation on this because that's distracting. Yeah, I think I'm doing all right with that one. So keyframe everything, clean the action, set everything to linear, and I guess I can apply. No, I want that on the Z location and the negative one. And if I apply it, I should be able to move things. Yes. I'm actually getting the shape I wanted to have. Well, no, that doesn't look good, but it's getting there because when you, I'll go back to full screen. When you mix the Brow.Outer.Lower and the Brow.Inner.Raiser, you get this shape basically, like the nice arc right there. Sorry, I'm watching a mirror that I have just below my screen because it's hard to do when I don't see myself doing it. But yeah, that curve is going to be interesting to get. No, I don't know whether I want to have it naturally or if this kind of motion is good. I think it can end up being good because that's that would be good on a like realistic rig. Oops, sorry, I need to show the screen again. So yeah, I was saying that this kind of motion right here, while this part kind of curls down, would be good on a realistic rig. Now I'm not sure if it will end up being good on a cartoony rig, because I might want to, well, let the animator control that arc himself and not assume that the animator wants the arc like that. But you know what, I'll keep it like this for now. And I'll copy the shape. Actually, I'll go to 50% on this one, 50% there, 50% there, and keyframe everything. And I might want to which is this one. So keyframe everything just in case, and clean the action. Apply it again just in case. And if I clean the action, does it remove everything? No. Okay. I'll just delete these keyframes. And now clean the action, that should remove. Yeah, cool. I'll probably end up adding the feature that just does it for you, like the mirroring of the shape, because it's not really hard. You basically just need to find out which controls are in the middle, or have like a ramp controlling how much you want to smooth the deformation between the left and the right side, and just have a mirror button that does everything for you. But yeah, I think this shape is looking alright considering how crappy the weighting is for now. So this one needs to go onto the Z location on -1, I think, and I'll apply the action. Yep, I need to bind it to this using this control, and apply the action. Okay, so what does that look like? I'll activate the mirroring. Yeah, kind of like how it curls. I guess I can't show that like that. But yeah, how that curls gets created automatically. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I'll keep it for now, because it does create a... It does accentuate the expression. And again, I might end up, instead of doing just the inner part and the outer part, I might end up just having one control in the middle and let the animator, well, define that curve himself. Yeah. For now, that looks alright. Yeah, I still don't like how things go down. Good call on letting the animator control the curve, or having it automated like that. You can't answer yes to that kind of question. Right, letting the animator, yeah, probably, especially on a kind of cartoony rig like that. So I'll probably end up, yeah, having the inside of the... She has big ass, yes, she does. Automation is great, but let me turn it off. Yep, that makes sense. And yeah, my job is basically to automate what needs to be automated 100% of the time, but yeah. And like all these controls there, right there, will be exposed to the animator, because why not, you know? So really all these like spherical controls will be there to help you pose the character faster. But on top of that, if you want to, I don't know, do this, well, you'll be able to do it. So that's the beauty of having a joint-based rig, is that, well, you have that like fine-tuning layer of deformation on top of the expressions that get automatically created by the rig. And you can't really have that, at least out of the box, with a blend shape rig. I don't know how Blender handles that, like multiple layers of deformation. I know you can... Yeah, I'm not quite sure how it works, because if you had the blend shape rig in Maya, you need to have the first layer of deformation be the blend shapes, and then you'd need the bones to be attached to the face and then deform it again. And that kind of leads to like dependency, cycle dependencies. So I quite like how the brows move a lot of the forehead on this one, and how like the forehead gains a bit of volume. And I think I'll add that to the lower action. So again, I'll keyframe everything at the start, go to the last frame and move these bones a bit downwards. And maybe these ones just tiny bit without breaking the shape. Clean action. Set everything to linear. Why wouldn't it? Okay. So don't want that to move, and I want that to move halfway, and this one to move halfway as well. And I don't want that one to move. So let's keyframe that again. Make sure we don't have any motion here. Keyframe everything, clean the action, and make sure everything is linear. I'll need to move this one a tiny bit. Okay, so I'll go to that pose, Ctrl C again. I guess now, since I added more bones to the movement, I will need to apply the action again. And that didn't work because I changed the name of the control. I didn't rename the controller properly. That's fine. So yeah. Lower right, Ctrl Shift V, keyframe everything, undo all the movement, keyframe everything, clean action, and linear. Okay, so I have these bones that I don't want in here. Clean the action, and I guess that means I have them. Let's just rename this and apply the action. And I guess this means that I have the same movement on these bones here on the left action. Yep, on these bones actually. So undo the movement, keyframe them, keyframe them just here to be safe, and clean the action. And apply again, delete the useless constraint. So it should look a bit better now when I bring the brows down. I guess I moved things too much. Yeah, maybe a bit too much. I kind of don't want the hairline to move. Well, it should in real life, but maybe not on that one, and that doesn't bring enough Yeah, that's just annoying. So I'll remove the keyframes on this upper like row of bones. Right. Let's do that to the other one. Clean action, apply, delete useless. Nope. Yeah, now it doesn't pull as hard on this part of the brows, but it like kind of propagates the deformation on all the forehead. And I'm getting some decent range of motion, at least vertically. It's a bit frustrating on the side to not being able to move outwards, though I don't really know if that makes sense to be able to do that. At least you couldn't do that in real life. But it does feel frustrating to hit a wall there when I move outwards. So I will most likely end up having yeah, a set of just one more animation that goes outwards. And it's almost 7 PM now. I might stream for like another half hour or something. I think what I'll do is at least create the two outer brow shapes that I want, which are the up and down shapes. Yeah, I'll do that. So brow outer lower, which is to me it's not a shape that exists in fact, which because it would basically be the same as the Brow.Inner.Lower, but it's going to be very important here to get a nice like flat line on the brows. So yeah, I'll do that, and in order to do it properly, I'll move actually this control down, and on top of that I can then pose the character to actually have this flat line that I was talking about. So on the side I cannot, this is going to be a tougher one to create, I think, at least without breaking the the volume of the character, and especially since the weighting is crappy, I'm going to get like holes in there. Right. So which control do I want there? Nope. GY should be outwards. I wonder which bone actually moves this part. I'm trying to see if I lost some volume right now. By doing that, actually it looks like I gained a lot of volume. which isn't what I want, so I'll move that back a bit. That looks better. Right, so I'm just going to do that quickly. I think I'll leave the weight issues right now. Clean the action, uncheck the split transform, same as rig, and I need to well, create a new control for that. So I'll duplicate that one, move it on the x-axis, and roughly place it right here. I'll rename it to eyebrow out. .L and this one should be renamed eyebrow out.air. So now if I move one, the other moves. I'll remove the crease that I forgot to remove there. Alright, they still move together, that's fine, that's fine. Cool, so I'll just copy the name of that one. I guess I need to go into pose mode because the bone technically didn't exist yet in pose mode. Cool. And I will move that on the, was it z-axis and positive z-axis? Right, set everything to linear. I want to remove the keyframes from those controls because I don't want that to be including the action. That's a mistake I did a lot in the first time, is that I included the, and I'll probably end up doing it a lot of time in this iteration of the rig as well. Basically included these controls into the action itself, which made it move twice in the end, and I don't want that. So yeah, just keyframe them, move them to 0, make sure everything is like, I just have the outer part of the brows moving, and hit the clean action button. Apply, I think I should be good. So yeah, now I can move the brows. Cool. Okay. The add-on automatically creates on all of your controls a limit location constraint that limits the bone to, well, to not be able to move outside of its range of motion. And since I duplicated from this one, it kept the old copy location, limit location. So, right, just realized that this control now moves the wrong side of the face as well. So just make sure the right side doesn't move. Keyframe everything and clean the action. Now I only have 3 bones here, and I can delete the useless actions. So now this should only move on this side, and I can go to the end, copy the pose, copy that pose, go there, Ctrl-Shift-V, keyframe everything, except I want to delete this keyframes, which are the old ones on the old bones. Undo the movement, clean the action, and check this. This is getting a bit repetitive. I'm probably going to find a way to preset this up. I don't know. Control out on the Z axis. I'm not sure if I'll really do that because that's a one-time thing that you do for each action. So yeah, might not be worth automating. Clean the action, set everything to linear, and apply it. Have it out. Yep, I already did that. Cool. So now if I move things down, everything on all the controls, I can get that flat curve. Well, it's not really a curve if it's flat, but you get the idea. Cool. So I can start getting like interesting shapes where I want to push those bones up, and I can start to push these ones down, which is a bit extreme right now, but right. Yeah, I'll definitely be adding a mate control. Probably not today though, because I'm going to start running out of time. Cool. Let's just on this action actually include these bones as well, just to okay, so the bones right here, they look like my adjoints because I set their display shape to look like my adjoints, because by default they would look like this. Oops. Like this, because I have my armature set to show the bones as bendy bones. I could have them show as like actual bones, but I prefer the bendy bones. Previsualization. And yeah, the custom object is like each bone can have a custom display basically through the custom object, and yeah, that's basically what I've done. Actually, Readify does that for me. So I just ended up changing the shape it targets to something that looks like a Maya joint. Yeah, because it's just a lot less distracting than having something stick out like that. Cool. So let's get those bones move. Just basically just trying to like smooth out the curve here. Might want to move that just a bit. And again, crappy skin weights for now. Yeah. Move that to linear. Cool. Everything's linear. Apply the action. Now I should be able to, yep, move everything down. All right. I'll copy the pose, mirror it. Clean the action, apply it, set it to linear. You basically only need to apply the action if you added keyframes on new bones. Action Man is the add-on. Actually, I can link it for you. Just a second. And yeah, I should definitely like Yeah, I guess I should, but it's also really easy to, or really quick to set the interpolation. And there are cases where you don't want interpolation, and actually, well, you don't want linear interpolation. And I kind of liked how these bones didn't have linear interpolation. So if I set that back to Bezier, not on the right action, so let's set back to linear and go on this one. Right, so if those forehead bones had a Bezier kind of animation, they kind of react. I don't know if you can see that properly. Kind of need to have a smaller timeline, but they will react to the movement just a tiny bit later than the rest, and that will end up looking a lot more fleshy if I do that properly on everything. Because that's how your like face works. When you kind of start moving some stuff, you'll see that the brows probably will move first, and then the fleshiness will kind of be delayed a tiny bit, because like it's just the physics reacting to the original like action. But yeah, that really doesn't matter for now, and especially on a like, cartoony rig like that. So I'm just going to set everything to linear for now, and which kind of defeats the purpose of having a joint-based rig, because if I set everything to linear, it ends up being, well, basically just like a blend shape rig. For now at least, because when I move to the lips, I'll be able to start rotating bones, and you can't really rotate anything with blend shapes, or shape keys rather. You could link it to the Blender preference settings so that you set a mode for new keyframes. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I might end up doing that. So, did I copy that to, I think I did, yes. So the outer brows are kind of down now, and I need to change the, the outer brows are not done, the Brow.Lower are done. So let's create the Outer.Raiser, and I'll follow the same principle where I have those two raised, and I'll go actually keyframe everything here, delete those keyframes right here, and at the end I basically want to move my controls up and again make a straight line right here. So this one might end up being trickier, because I kind of need to again follow the shape of the skull. I guess that might turn out all right by default. I'll just move this one up just a smudge. And for this one, yeah, I really need to start fixing the weights right here. And I'm not sure if I like the rotation I'm starting to do, but we'll see how that looks. Right, so linear keyframes again. And if I remove this, what does this look like? Cool. I think that looks good enough for now. I'll copy the pose. Actually, keyframe everything here. Make sure nothing moves on the first frame. And clean the action. That way I just removed the motion on the controllers. And I just have the outer brow raising. Yep, that looks good. Copy the pose. Actually, target the control. Eyebrow out L on the Z -1 location, and I'll apply the action and do the same right here. Keyframe that, remove these old keyframes. Make sure nothing moves on the first frame. In the action and check that. -1. Samus. And control out right Z location, and I think I'm good. So if I start just having the controls like this, how does it look like? I should be able to move things up to a relatively straight line. Maybe not straight, as straight as I would like, but yeah. So if I move things, yeah. I'm a bit annoyed by the fact that the brows kind of go back to their neutral pose right here when you like try to blend between both. I think I'll need to find a solution to be able to just flatten the brows and move them up and down without have them go back to the neutral pose. Cool. So once you, I didn't mean to unhide everything. Okay, so once you have basically the brows up and down on the outer side, you can start really making some crazy shapes with the brows, and you can do some like evil kind of stuff, which are definitely too much right now, and I don't like that line that I created there again. But yeah, you start to have like a decent range of motion on everything, and yeah, I guess it's starting to look all right. I'm not quite sure why. Okay, no, I guess I'm imagining stuff. I thought the left control would go too much on the right side, but that's apparently not the case. And I'll start attaching the controls to the face later, because I know that there will be some issues going on, and I just don't want to deal with that right now. I don't really like. I like that curve, like that motion on the outer brow. Yeah, it's crazy, and the model does a lot of the work just for me because it just looks so great out of the box. I just realized I didn't add the odd edges on this brow. But yeah, the mole just looks so good, and But yeah, I was saying that I really like the Outer.Raiser. I think that looks quite natural. The Brow.Lower, on the other hand, that curve is ugly. What time is it? 7:12. And that's when you're going to start to like iterate and go back and forth within your expressions. Because now that I know that this curve doesn't look good, I can fine-tune this curve specifically. So let's do that. Outer lower left, and I'll show everything and do the control motion, and I can basically start which is fine-tuning the, I don't want the x-axis mirror. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want that kind of straight shape like this. I guess I might on that. Yeah, I'll definitely be adding one control in the middle, and I kind of want to be able to, whatever the position you set your controls to be able to make a straight shape by moving the middle control in between. Like if the middle control is, okay, so let's start again. If I have my control set to be up like that and this one down, I would kind of like if I had the middle control exactly in the middle of those two to have a straight line for the brows. And same thing would go obviously there. Like this would just, that middle control, if it was in between everything, would just, well, straighten things like that. And then you could use that control to all do these kind of curves that I embedded in the pose right now. And yeah, that control should basically be able to move up, down, I guess on the two sides, or at least on this side. But might as well just add the control to move it outwards as well. Now I might just have that control be a tweaker control, or like have 3 layers of controls on the face. The brow controls that would basically just get you the important shapes quickly, and the middle controls here probably on the like the lips right here, have that as a like secondary layer of controls, and then have the like all these bones as a tertiary layer that you could then just like do whatever you want with that. That's basically the shape I would like to have. If I just move this one up, and or actually just move this one down maybe. Yeah, but anyway, I was saying that I would like to change this shape. Yeah, I'm just looking at that side, and it's crazy how like the middle part of the brows end up changing the like the expression. Just having that curve right here. Anyway, let's fix that motion. Move this one down a bit, I guess. I don't want the x-axis mirror. And I might want to move this one just a tiny bit more. This one kind of like that. clean action, apply it. And so now, I have my crease pencil keyed as well. That looks alright, but now that I have this done, Shift H, I will definitely have lost the straight line that I had because I moved this bone down on this shape. So I need to fix that and in the other pose, which would be the Brow.Inner.Lower. So I'm going to move this one down for everything and just tweak that pose to move this one. Yeah, I guess that works for now. Yeah. Cool. Right, I don't think I need to do anything there. Just copy the pose. Brow.Inner.Lower right. Paste it. Clean the action. And same from the Brow.Outer.Lower L. And go to the right one, paste it in mirror, clean the action. So, what does that look like? Okay, I can do some more evil stuff now. And I really want to be able to push the brows a lot more upwards because she has a huge forehead and I want to be able to take advantage of that. This shape kind of looks good now and I can probably start to make yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need that middle control and probably as a primary layer. But I think this is starting to look good. And yeah, I'm going to remove that that kind of rotation motion, that curling effect that happens when I move the brows inwards, because this is like a kind of realistic motion that I don't really want in that rig. So I'll just remove that now. And I'll probably end up in the stream with that. We'll see if I end up liking this or not. So this happens in the Brow in. Okay, so this happens because this bone has some animation on its Z location, I think. Yes. If I just delete that keyframe, go to the beginning. Eyebrow mid, that's the one. Delete that keyframe and that one. Okay, so I kind of I think I'll just move it on the x-axis actually. I think that might be the key to the problem. Control Shift V. Don't want that one to move. Why does it move? I don't know. So make sure everything's in linear. Go back to this one because I think I might have some issues. Make sure everything goes. Nothing moves here. Clean the action. Set everything to linear. And let's see how that looks. Shift H. So I have this kind of motion. Yeah, that's better, a lot better. Yeah, and now with that kind of shape, you can trust that the rig will end up doing what you want the rig to do, which is, well, what you would expect as an animator. And if I select everything now, oops, move everything up, I've got that straight-ish line that I'll straighten. Move everything down, I still have that straight line. I can start moving things and create some kind of wild shapes. Yeah, and yeah, definitely the next step is going to be adding that middle control, which I didn't have on the first iteration of the rig. But yeah, I think I will end it here because I have a meeting in like half an hour for project. So yeah, if you have any question before I end the stream, now's the time to shoot them. Yeah, well, this shape look good. I'll definitely want to push them a lot more than that, especially the upper ones. I kind of want the eyebrow to be able to basically just go all the way up here. Downward shapes, I think, look good. But I mean, why not just have things go like way down? At least, well, not maybe that down, but like halfway through the eye would be a good target, I think. Are you going to have like a master eyebrow control to move those three? I don't think so. I mean, that's going to depend on the feedback I get, but I kind of like not having this because, well, the controls are kind of easy to select. Yeah, on each side. I think that ends up being a personal preference of each animator. But yeah, some of the animators I've talked with don't really like to have too much layering into the controls, because then when you start like keyframing the global control and then you just move the tweak controls, your keyframes for one expression are like split onto a bunch of different controls. So I don't know, it's fairly easy to just select those 4 controls and maybe 6 controls in the future. I guess I'll see. That will depend on, well, your feedback. So yeah, that's the feeling I have. Yeah, I really like the downwards motion I get. And especially this looks good as well. Cool. There's definitely more work to be done on the like inner part of the brows, because that doesn't look good. As from far you can see some stuff, but yeah. Yeah, sure guys, no problem. And I typically wouldn't start with the brows because the brows are pretty easy to set up, just up and down basically. And I might want to like create corrective shapes for up and on the side or whatever, or maybe not. I think that kind of looks good. But yeah, the I might finish the brows or like finish all the shapes, the functionality of the brows next stream. But I really want to start working on the mouth because that's the most complex part of the face by a very large margin. So yeah, next stream is probably going to be finishing the brows, or at least the functionality, not necessarily the shapes, and starting work on the mouth and the jaw. Because something I really like doing is having like basically a control to close the lips, and a lot of people have kind of some sticky lip setups that I don't really like, and I think I have some ideas to push the sticky lip setup a lot further than what I've seen out there. So yeah, definitely a lot of experimenting going on in the next few streams. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. And I think you guys have asked your questions. Then I answered everything. Yep. Cool. So I'll end the stream now. And yeah, thanks for joining, guys. See you next time.